Welcome to Unsigned518. I'm here with Ryan Clark. How's it going, man?
Hello. Good. How are you?
I'm doing very well. We just met, a couple minutes ago. Well, about 20 minutes ago or so. But when you came on my radar, or we first connected, it was like a couple months ago. I think it was like fall of last year or winter. We had talked DM something.
Yes.
And
yes, I sent a message.
yeah.
Yep.
And then, like everything all the time,
Life.
shit gets busy
Yes.
and whatever, and it takes a little bit to come around. But like in that interim, I'd, checked out your music because that's what I do.
Yep.
Like that's what I call my homework or my research. And we were just talking before we got recording about like different styles and just be expressive. And I think I found that in your music that it's not locked in to kind of one thing. So
No.
I guess I want to talk about like how that came to be, because a lot of people, when it's, a very single genre or, they're doing this kind of thing. So I guess what is your relationship with music, kind of how it got to where we are right now?
Whew. I mean, I think it all started with
a day-by-day account, if you could, please.
All right. On day one, it started with guitar was always a love of mine. When I started, playing it when I was, I think, 10 years old. I remember literally never putting it down and falling in love with it. I was writing poems when I was young too, so that was like instantly songwriting kind of made sense to me with lyrics, and then the music kind of combined with that. Oh gosh, when you look at it from a longevity,
right,
it's
when
like
when you really zoom out,
zoom out.
It's like,
a long time. You're like, that's a long time of playing guitar. And then, just kept playing. I started, working with friends of mine who were singers in like middle school and high school, playing guitar for them, doing like coffee houses in Albany because I was living in Albany at the time. And then high school came around and I was able to play shows. So I started skipping school to go play gigs and make money. I was like, yeah, I'm going to go play music. Like,
yeah.
I love it, and I'm getting paid to do it. I'm not getting paid in school. Why would I stay there?
There were gigs at like 1:30 in the afternoon.
I had to go do them.
I
had to go do them, right? Like, cool.
You're like, fuck social studies. I'm going to play a gig at a coffee shop.
Yeah, and then I kept doing it. I just kept, getting more gear, playing as much as I could, hanging out with friends, playing. Went away to college, kept doing shows to like afford food and do the thing. That was like my weekends were after school. I'd go and pack up and go do a gig in town, or I'd come back to this area to play. And then my summers were always playing a lot of shows.
And was it always kind of because with the loop station, and we'll get into like gear stuff and everything, has it always kind of been like a you solo act, or did you have?
I started out as a Nirvana cover band.
Sick. All right.
Yeah, we were in my friends, like, my parent garage and the whole thing. Like, that's where we started. Was like a couple friends got together and we'd play Nirvana songs together and bang our heads against the wall and play rock. It was awesome. It was so fun.
Yeah.
And we loved it. We had so much fun chunking out 4-chord punk songs, rock songs.
I mean, I'm a 52-year-old man that's still doing the exact same thing.
It was so fun.
I'm playing 4 chords in the garage that we're sitting in right now. Yeah, because it's fucking fun.
It was just fun. Like, we just enjoyed it. I couldn't wait to do rehearsals. It was tough. That's, I think, where the solo part was getting people together.
Right.
I was so excited and always so pumped to play, and then my drummer would be like, I can't today. Or he would bail and just not text
tough.
me, and I'd be like, flaky people stink. Like, that's just not fun. I was looking forward to playing music. Like, I can't, But again, you look at it and like people have lives, people have things, so it's hard to know what's going on with people.
And also people change.
Yeah,
so like especially as, you're coming out of high school, like those people that are super committed to music, by the time the reality, the fucking real world starts kicking them around a little bit, they're like, I'm gonna have to put down the bass guitar
Yeah.
for a minute and focus on, I don't know, surviving, like,
eating,
so, like,
being,
so it gets tough.
Totally.
But like, one thing though is doing like the solo thing. You know, obviously it's your own schedule. You can take gigs whenever it's good for you. You don't have to check with other people.
Yes.
But the one thing that would make me nervous about going solo, and I guess I want to kind of pick your brain on how you overcome this, or if you overcome this, is the motivation when you're by yourself. Like being in an outfit, a band, like with, you know, I have 4 other people to rely on.
You
like,
can look around and go, right? Like
there's people that let down.
relatability.
But there's people that let down.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I mean?
true.
And
that's
like
true.
everybody's going for something, and like I feel like if it was just me, I might be like, you know, like maybe I won't take that one gig. And like, so how do you stay motivated to? Because I saw your fucking schedule. You know what I mean? Like you're out there.
I stay busy.
Like you're staying very busy. So how do you motivate yourself to stay that level of busy?
I don't know. It's always what I've done, and it's like I just like being out playing shows. Like when I pick up a guitar, it feels like I'm in a different world, and every time I get to do that, I feel so grateful and like thankful to be able to do that. So to continue to push and try to, like, you know, do that as much as I can, you know, is what I've always wanted to do. I guess I've always dreamed about playing shows as a kid and doing it when I was young. So now that I get to do it, I'm like, okay, how do I keep the ball rolling? How do I keep going? How do I keep, you know, doubling down every year and trying to do more shows and make more relationships and, you know, find great musicians and just keep doing it as much as possible.
Yeah.
You know.
So I mean, you know, being grateful is definitely an answer. You know what I mean?
Right,
Because like I know the feeling of you know, being on stage.
Or when you don't have stuff going on.
Right.
Oh my gosh. All you want to do is be out of the walls that you're in and go, I want to play shows again.
And it's funny because like we're in that right now. It just happens to be that the band doesn't have another set of gigs until September.
Yep.
So we've got like 2 months of no gigs. And so we're shooting potentially 2 music videos, and we're doing like all this other stuff. Like I'm doing a showcase with the Unsigned518 for like all these other bands. So it's like when there's not things going on, other things happen. Like it makes me understand side projects. Like,
Yes,
I remember like being younger and like, you know, like one of your favorite bands, and like all of a sudden you're like, wait, why is that guy doing a solo album? It's like I get it now. You know
when you have the art or like the music, I don't know, thing inside you, when you don't have something going on for your, like, again, like you said, personal thing, you can still love it to work with other people doing it
and just
like
do other things that's in the same.
Oh my gosh, it's
in
amazing.
the same vein.
Yeah,
it's like just
play guitar for someone, or
produce
for someone, or help them film something who's never done it, and you're like, oh, you've never done that? Let me help you. Like, get excited about music and
like,
art.
I mean, shit, we don't. You know, there's 8 weeks of no gigs, so like I got to do something.
Right?
Like, gotta do something, or I'm gonna go fucking nuts
crazy
this summer. Like, but it's nice to have that, you know, network of people, like we were saying, in this area where it doesn't matter. It's, you know, and I just think that this area, it's less clicks, it's less competition. Like, I think even across different genres, people understand that, like, we're not competing with each other.
No,
like, there's room for everybody. There's room for every style of music, which I love. So I think it's a great scene, certainly, to be a part of.
Yes.
So, you know, we're talking out of high school into college, and do you write all your own stuff? Do you do covers? Do you do a melange of the both?
Yeah, I mean, I've always pushed super heavily for the original stuff. I've always been a writer. Yeah, I mean, I always wrote by myself because I didn't have anyone to write with. Like, no one else, I didn't really, and it was always a very, like, I don't know, emotional, or like, I'm going to be by myself and write kind of thing. Like, I need to express myself and express these songs that I have. And then I was like, okay, when I was playing shows, I was like, I need to learn other people's music so that when I play shows, people can listen to them and relate, and like I can play those songs and still be myself through those songs, right? Like
100%. And
still,
those songs are literally almost like a gateway.
It's an
into
extension,
you.
right?
It's like, hey,
These
these
are
songs that I
love.
write came at least partially from these influences.
Exactly,
type
100%.
of thing.
Yeah. Cover music and songs are like, that is like your, I don't know, inventory of like knowledge, basically, right?
Yeah.
You learn all these songs and I remember this chord or like this progression. Let's change it up slightly.
Yeah,
And
because
then-
nobody learns, and I've said it on this show 24 times. Like nobody learns music in a vacuum.
No.
You know, like you're
you have
pulling
to
from
something,
influences, and it's okay to be like, oh, these are my influences.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but it is weird with covers because like my band, we play covers every set. Like we throw in a couple of covers.
Yeah.
Like it's just like what we do,
Yeah.
and like it's a good way for people that have never heard you before
To,
like you said, to understand. And
Yes.
even if like they don't listen to you again, they're gonna maybe remember. Oh, like they did whatever, a fucking Jimmy Eat World song, or whatever, and they might remember that.
Yeah.
And they might be like, oh, I remember that guy, and then it gets But it is kind of weird that you almost kind of have to play other people's music until your music stands out on your own.
Exactly. Yeah.
But sometimes your music, like it just works well with other stuff, and it's nice to sneak
it in and be able to play stuff and like while you're building up your repertoire, right, of like recorded releases and like songs, you kind of have to, because you don't have music to
Right.
I mean, it's taken me how many years to get X number of songs just out and recorded and released. Like that's such a process to do all that work.
And playing a gig sometimes, like especially as a solo artist, a lot of the times, like, I mean, how long is your average gig? Like a couple hours, 3 hours?
3 hours, yeah.
Like, do you have 3 fucking hours of original music?
Yeah,
like,
no.
I mean, maybe now you do,
Yeah.
but like, certainly when you're starting out, it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, even us, we were doing 40-minute sets.
Yeah.
And for like the first year we were a band, we're like, we do not have 40
that
minutes
much
of original music.
Yeah, exactly.
Now we do, but it takes a while to get there.
Yeah.
So speaking of music, you brought along your guitar and your looper pedal, and
Yes.
we do want to hear a song, but I think I want to, I guess, pick your brain about what is happening on the pedal. Like, you're doing the beats with the hitting the shell of the guitar,
Yep.
which will create beats. Like, how long did it take you to build to where you're at now with all the pedals and stuff?
Yeah, I remember I had a little blue loop station. That's the only way I can remember. I think it was a Boss. Tell me you have one.
I have the red Boss.
You have the
loop
red one.
station.
Yeah.
It looks like this, but it's red.
And it was a double pedal.
Is it that one? No, that's my pedal. Yeah.
So that's where I started with it. I was just like messing with that, and I'd try to like, start it and then stop it right in the loop and get a really good like. And there would be so many times I'd mess it up and just like not get the right feel, building the tempo in your brain basically, and then starting it. And then once I started getting like a good rhythm section, I would start doing like just beats when I was practicing. Then I remember getting an octave pedal, and I just remember hitting like single notes that were like low end
Little bass
bass
lines.
lines basically, and you just like, I was like, oh, this is really cool. Like I can build a bass line and a beat and a rhythm, and then I can do lead over top of that. This sounds like full now. This is really fun to jam with.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like having fun doing this. So, I mean, I just started practicing as much as I could. Some of the songs, when I would write them, I would then, like, as I was playing, I would just experiment while I was, touring and playing shows. I would just experiment with stuff, and things would stick. And I'd be like, oh, that was really cool. Let me see if I can remember to do that at these moments.
And like one thing that I think maybe some people may not understand is like, the use of like digital technology and like looper pedals. Like, I mean, maybe musicians would understand, but maybe non-musicians, like,
Yeah.
it isn't like leaning on technology to cheat in any way, shape, or form. It is actually more difficult than just
Yes.
like doing one thing. Because
Yeah.
like you said, if you hit, I used to do a drum machine with my foot and looper shit, and you hit one wrong thing, everything
Everything's
falls
off.
apart
Very quickly.
immediately.
Yeah.
And like, there's been so many times where I just learned to just shut the fucking song right down.
Yeah.
You know, you'd hit something wrong and just be
Yeah.
like, "This is over."
Yeah,
Sorry about that,
that's
folks.
it.
Like, because there was no coming back from that because I had all these MIDI bass lines
Yeah.
programmed. Like, I just fucked up. So like,
Yeah.
how do you deal with like the stress of recreating the stuff that you're doing with this looper pedal in front of a live audience?
Well, I think that's the fun of it for me, is like every time it's different, even though it is the same in my head. Every time I play it, I still get the excitement of like, oh, I get to do the beat now.
Right.
Okay, now we're doing the bass line. I don't know what I'm doing. I just know the root notes pretty much. And then from there, I like will try to walk the bass a little bit and move it down a half step or a whole step and do a little like walk at the end of the progression or something. But I try to just be more experimental every time and just like let whatever's happening at that moment take over.
So it like stays like
I'd say it's fresh
relatively
almost.
within a template, but
Yeah.
is allowed to breathe.
To breathe
and
with-
go
yeah,
different places.
yeah.
And shit. That's really cool. Like, I do kind of miss doing. So it's been a long time since I've done solo stuff, but
Yeah.
I do kind of miss that because you're like the excitement, especially when there would be payoff. You
Yeah,
know?
when you're
When
like,
would
"Oh,
do
that was
something, you're
cool.
like, that was fucking.
I didn't know I
super
could do
cool."
that, right?
Yeah.
Like that was fun.
Totally. I dig that. All right, so we're gonna do a couple songs here, and you're actually gonna play one live.
Yep.
Here in the Dazzle Den right now, and then we'll hear a studio track later on. But what are you gonna play for us right now?
This one's called "Slow It Down," and it's my song about just slowing down the world a little bit and appreciating the moment that you're in.
All right, cool. So let's check out "Slow It Down." Ryan Clark here live in the Dazzle Den, and then we'll be right back.
I looked out my window to find a way to slow it down. Somehow, maybe look back and take my time to feel things again. Yeah, I just wanna know how to hold on to right now, 'cause it won't be long before it's gone. This life don't allow no turning back. It's moving fast. I wanna slow it down. These pages just write themselves when I'm not even trying. I'd be lying if I said I had it figured out, 'cause I don't have any superpowers. I just wanna know how to hold on to right now, 'cause it won't be long before it's gone. This life don't allow no turning back. It's moving fast. I wanna slow it down.
right, that was Slow It Down, Ryan Clark, live here in the Dazzle Den. And Ryan, we were talking a little bit earlier, before we got recording, how, you'd grown up in the Albany area, but there was a time when you had moved down to Nashville to pursue music, and were down there for, you said 6 years? Was it something?
Yeah,
like
almost 5, almost 6 years. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, Nashville was incredible. I loved my time down there. I really wasn't planning on going. I had a friend message me who I was starting to, sing with and do shows with. And she invited me to, move down to Nashville to change it up. And I was like, I was ready for something new and different. I just went. We got an Airbnb, split it, and moved down there for a while. And then I came back, was doing, touring and shows, and then I'd move back down there, and then I stayed down there. I was like, okay, this is it. This is cool.
And so, like, playing a show, because obviously it's a music city, and
Yep.
like there's a fucking 100 different places playing music on any given night. Like, did you find that was was it easy or not easy, but like, I guess, how easy was it to start booking gigs down in Nashville, not already being embedded in the scene?
Yeah, there was. I thankfully, social media was helpful. I messaged an artist named Austin Burke, who was cool with like grabbing coffee, and he just like literally told me everything about Nashville over a coffee meeting, and I like took notes and wrote down. And he was like, "Go to this showcase for original music. Avoid these places, try to network with these writers," and like just threw me in, and just was so helpful. And then just being down there, experiencing things, I kind of learned quickly.
Right.
I like to get a vibe and go, okay, cool. This is for me, or this is not it, and this is how I can make money and have to do it, or this is how I should avoid that place because they're not good to artists or whatever it might be.
And that's really cool to like know, even just tangentially, just like that it's still about the people. It's still
Yes.
about the networking. That's
Yes.
how you do it. You start networking with people. You go to shows.
Yeah.
You meet people.
Meet
like
people,
the
get
right
out.
people are going to be here.
Yeah.
And, and if you're cool and personable enough,
Yeah.
which obviously you are, like you meet the people, you're friendly, and then that's how shit happens.
Yeah.
Right? And obviously you have to have talent, like
Music's you gotta, be able to play music a little bit.
you get to the show and you're like, oh fuck yeah, I totally forgot to learn how to play guitar. Shit, I'm very good at networking. No. So yeah, obviously you gotta have the talent.
Do stand-up comedy instead tonight. All right, here we go, everybody.
And like, do you think that like through osmosis, like going to all these shows and going to all these showcases, like how much did that affect your songwriting? Like, were there times when you would go to a showcase and then be like, fuck, I want to try something like that?
Yeah. Yeah, or even just being like, if I don't know how to do that, that person is really good at that. So let's collaborate. And I might be like a guitar player that can bring that to the table. The artist might not be like as good of a guitar player or whatever
Right,
it is.
right.
You can like trade skills almost. And networking is definitely, but yeah, you watch some of the talent and the songs down there too, like some of the songwriting and people, you just get so inspired. And like it's hard because again, you're around people who are just so good, so it's hard to go like, oh man, this is like I don't feel good because there's so much talent.
Right. And I mean, that's like a double-edged sword because, like, in a way,
Yeah.
because even when you first started saying that sentence toward the end, my thoughts on it shifted because at first I'm like, well, yeah, obviously you want to be around talented people because that's how you learn. But then I'm like, yeah, that's a bitch to conquer your self-consciousness
Yes.
when you're like, I'm around super talented people.
yeah.
And even if you are,
Yeah.
it's your brain, a lot of the times might not let you know that you are. Like my brain would be like, "Fuck you, Andy. What are you doing here?" I'd be like, "I'm trying, man." Like, so, like, I guess that's a double-edged sword being in that talent pool. But, clearly being there for 5-6 years, you were doing something right.
It was fun. I mean, and just trying to meet people. I think I always say this, but like meeting the behind the scenes people was really the goal for me. Who are the people who are playing bass on the records? Who are the drummers on that? Like, who are the producers? Like, I want to meet those people who, like, their names, no one ever like looks them up except people like me who care about. They're the ones who made that record or made that sound. The writers.
Fun. Like, I was listening to, we were listening, my wife and I, some music this morning, and Janis Joplin, "Take a Piece of My Heart" came on, and like, there's that like really cool, fuzzy, dirty ass guitar solo in that, and I was like, I have no fucking idea who plays this. Who plays that? Like, who is that playing that guitar? This song has been a part of my life for 50 years, my entire life, and I have no idea who plays that guitar solo.
Yeah.
And like stuff like that, and it's probably some dude from Nashville, because a lot of those people too, the luminaries in Nashville, aren't there a lot of people that write songs for like national artists?
Yeah, there's writers who are,
but they themselves just play locally, but like their songwriting is good enough, or they'll write for some artists,
huge artists, national touring groups. Basically.
That's got to be that's got to be a cool way to, like, to have that kind of massive talent.
Yeah.
To be like, oh, I can just write songs and just give them to other people, and that'll pay my bills for the rest of my life.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I can just hang out and do whatever I want. Like, because I would never want to be a rock star or anything, a national. But it'd be cool to have like the money, and keep the anonymity,
quietness of it all, right?
God, that's the dream right there, man. Like, have your own studio, just pump out hits, and then be like, nobody knows who I am.
Yep.
I love it. So I guess you've been down in Nashville. You were playing shows down there, like writing songs, continuing, and then you moved up here recently again, or back up this way recently?
Yeah, about a year and a half ago, I saw a place that I wanted to turn into a recording studio.
Oh, nice.
And that's been my project for the last year and a half. I've been a hermit working on that place pretty much.
And was it weird, or how did it feel to grow up here, to go succeed in Nashville, decide to come back up here, and then now you have to not reinvent yourself, but now you have to reintroduce yourself
restart,
to
and
this.
You have to connect and be like, it's definitely a strange thing, because I'm so used to the Nashville culture that it's like, oh, yeah, I'm in upstate New York. Right? It's like cool. It's just different.
Right.
But it's fun. I mean, I'm really enjoying the more like smaller feel of the town, and like, everyone is like, I don't know. It's like everyone can help each other, right?
Yeah.
Like it really is a place where it's just, maybe I just look at it like it's a miniature Nashville. It's just a place where, Nashville was the same thing. It's like connecting with people, songwriters. There's a lot of art. I still have access to Nashville. Everything's digital these days, right? Like I can text my friends or some of the people I've worked with and ask them to play bass on records or drums and fly stuff over to me. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, and it's a slower pace here, which is so nice.
Yeah,
like
especially like where we are sitting right now. Amazing. Like we are literally in horse and cow country.
It is nice. I like this.
I'm amongst dairy farms and horse farms, and I like it a lot. Yeah, because it's close enough to Albany and Saratoga and Lake George and Glens Falls, but it's still hidden.
It's still hidden. Yeah.
I like the quietude. All right, so cool. So before we go, we were going to hear another song, and this time, rather than playing something live, we were going to hear a studio track. So what are we going to hear this time?
Yeah, so this one is called My Way. It's a song that I wrote with two artists down in Nashville, and I asked an artist friend of mine who I just was like obsessed with her voice when I heard it. Her name is Jess Lee. To sing on it, and we cut it down in Nashville. One of my favorite tracks. I've heard it enough to where I don't ever want to hear it again, but like it's one of my favorites, and I think people, I hope people like it. It's it's a fun song, My Way.
All right, well, let's check out My Way with Ryan Clark and Jess Lee, and then we'll be right back to wrap it up.
try to read you 1,000 times, but there's always something that I miss. You got me losing my mind, 'cause your pages don't make sense. Ooh, got me second guessing everything I'm saying. Everything you do pulls me in, but then you push me all away. Don't wanna leave your driveway, can't bring myself to end this. Girl, tell me, what should I say to make you want me to stay?
Don't wanna live without you. The silence already kills me. Boy, if you could read my mind, you know what I've been going through. You never walk away. If I had it my way, my way, my way. If I had it my way, my way, my way. I don't even know where to start. Half the time you're all in, baby, messing with my head, my heart. Got me feeling a little bit crazy. Ooh, got me second guessing everything I'm saying, everything I do. Pulls you in, but then I push you away.
Don't wanna leave your driveway, can't bring myself to end this. Girl, tell me, what should I say to make you want me to stay?
Don't wanna live without you. The silence already kills me. Boy, if you could read my mind, you know what I've been going through. You never walk away. If I had it my way, my way, my way. If I had it my way, my way, my way.
No, I can't leave your driveway.
And I can't live without you.
Girl, tell me, what should I say
To make you want me to stay.
Don't wanna leave your driveway, can't bring myself to end this. Girl, tell me, what should I say to make you want me to stay?
Don't wanna live without you. The silence already kills me. Boy, if you could read my mind, you know what I've been going through. You never walk away. If I had it my way, my way, my way. If I had it my way, my way, my way. If I had it my way, my way, my way. If I had it my way, my way, my way.
All right, that was My Way, Ryan Clark and Jess Lee. And Ryan, I want to thank you so much for coming out and doing this. It was really cool and super cool to meet you. And
Likewise.
before we go, I want to give you a chance to say your gratitudes. So microphone is all yours.
Hello, microphone. Thank you so much for having me. This was amazing. Such a cool studio space you have here.
Thanks, man.
I love the vibes here. This is awesome. Thank you for just supporting music for so long, too.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Like, you heard me on the radio back in the early 2000s,
Long.
which is fucking trippy. You're like, did I hear you when I was a
When I was a kid.
I'm like, holy shit, yes, you did. You would have on EQX back in the early 2000s. That blew my fucking mind.
Yeah.
I told my wife, like, I stepped out and I was like, he remembers me from when he was a kid. She's like, how old is he? I'm like, no, I'm old. You got to remember that. I'm very old. Like, all right, sorry. Go ahead and continue.
I guess thank everybody. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to thank everybody who in this area supports live music, is involved with live music, the arts, everything. Like, people love the arts. People who are not involved in the arts love the arts. I don't even know. Everybody I've ever like come in contact with music and producers, people who have made records, who, friends of mine that I've met down in Nashville. Do you want me to be like specific about?
Go for it.
Okay.
Get as specific
yeah,
as you
I
want.
guess.
Yeah.
Cool. Greg Collins for making the record that I grew up listening to when I first heard the Goo Goo Dolls. Dan for the drums that he recorded on some of the songs. Mark Hill, bass player I've worked with, inspired me so much when I heard his playing. Just people in the scene. Rich Ortiz, watching him play when I was like 16 years old, 17 years old.
Legend, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Like, just a great guy and great player. Patrick Decker. There's a lot of great people who inspired me when I was growing up around here. The bar owners around here too. The places that I've been able to play since I was a kid, coming back here. Just music. All of it.
Awesome.
Cool.
All right. Well, he is Ryan Clark. I am Andy Scullin. This is Unsigned 518. I'll see you on the road. Unsigned 518 is produced and hosted by me, Andy Scullin. New episodes are available every week wherever you stream podcasts. If you would like to help support the show, please like and subscribe wherever you are listening. Or you could buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/unsigned518. If you would like to advertise on the show, send me an email at unsigned518@gmail.com. And to be a guest on the show, reach out to me through Instagram at unsigned518. Take care of one another, and I'll see you next week.